What's in the box? In the box. What's in the box today?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? In the box. Open the lid and play.
What's in the box?
Looking, peeping, what do you say? Let's open the box today.
What's in the box?
Hey everybody, doing a short video today. Might not be so short, we'll see what happens. On this bad boy, my toolbox. So if you follow on the channel, you will know that in one of the previous videos I announced that I quit my job as a full-time diesel mechanic and I've gone into farming, agriculture. So I no longer need this toolbox at my old work and I brought it to the farm, which is a good thing because it's got some pretty good tools in there. Full sets of tools, which this workshop struggles to have. So it's good having it here, makes my life a lot easier when I'm working out here at least anyway. So I'll give you a rundown on what this is, for those who are interested of course, what it is, where I got it, and what I generally keep in it. So, as I said, I'm a qualified diesel mechanic, have been in the industry for nearly 10 years. So this is accumulation of stuff I've bought, stuff Dad's given me, and that I've picked up along the way. So I'll start off with what these two boxes are here. So this top box is a Faber Hercules 5. So Faber's a company in New South Wales that predominantly make ute toolboxes, so to go on top of a ute. That's why it's got these two slots here for a forklift to lift up, or a front end loader, and they sit on the ute. These things, as I said in the other video the other day, are pretty much bulletproof. They are tough as nails. Dad had a smaller version of this, the Hercules 4, which has just one less drawer than this. This is the biggest one they make. As far as I know, I bought this a while ago now, but as far as I know, this is still the biggest one they make. Dad had a smaller one. He had it on the back of his work ute for years, driving around, bouncing around, getting covered in dirt and rain and everything. And he ended up selling it when he stopped doing a lot of the mechanical work there, and he nearly got almost what would be new price for it, and it didn't look real amazing, covered in stickers like mine, but being out in the weather, most of them had peeled off and it was a bit rusty and everything. But that's just how good they are. People are willing to still pay pretty good money for them, even secondhand. So that's what this is. Yeah, it's the biggest one they make. 5 drawers. They just don't have ball bearing sliders. They're just on a rail, which I'll show you. So they're just on a slide in there and they just roll, well they don't roll at all, they just slide on top of metal on metal basically. Because it's powder coated and lubed up, they slide really well. I've never had really any trouble with them binding up. You just give them a wipe down every now and then to wipe off the old lubrication that you put on there. I use Lanox, I think I've got some. Yeah, Lanox. This is the stuff I spray on the slides. It's a lanolin based lubricant and it seems to work really well. Yeah, so that's all I use to lube up the slides on the toolbox and it seems to work really well. They're never really bind up. In and out as easy as you like. Better than rollers because they don't wear out. Well, they haven't in my experience anyway, and obviously I've done a lot of work with this toolbox, so I don't know. Yeah, so that's the bulk of what that one's all about. It's got a big top section as well. This is a lot taller than I am. I'm about 6 feet, and this is a couple inches higher. Because when I designed this roll cab, I didn't allow for the size of the wheels as well. And then I can't see in there. I do know what's up there. It's stuff I don't really use. And then there's a gas strut up there for the lid. This all locks. The way it locks is a big pin drops through the centre, so you can't slide the drawers out. And then, yeah, it comes down like that. Put a lock on the front, and well. So that's that one. I'll run you through what I've got in a sec. So the bottom roll cab Dad built for me. I can't remember how many years ago now, a little while ago. So I designed it how I wanted it to be made, all the measurements, width, height, etc. And he welded it all up. I think it was $800 worth of steel. And yeah, he did all the work. So 2 front doors, they're latched together with just a bolt latch. There's a lock in here to stop this one open. Opens up like so. Then yeah, just a shelf. I was gonna make like a big drawer that went across there to slide out, or a second shelf, but just never got around to it. yeah, that's pretty much what's in there. I'll go through all that stuff in there. There's not that much for the size of it, really. I should have a couple more shelves, to be honest. But it works for what I was doing. And then this side's just another smaller cabinet. And got Dad to make these sides here. These little shelves, and I just put like sprays and stuff. Like I've got a can of trusty Aerostart, my favourite spray. Always handy. A bit of power steering fluid and a few other random things. And then sort of where I keep all my battle guns, drills, got a grease gun in there and other stuff. And then down the bottom's just general junk, really. Bit of chain and whatnot. I'll grab a tape measure and quickly rattle off the measurements. So she's roughly 1400 wide. I'll go from the ground so you know how high it is. 1040 mil high. And 800 mil depth. Then, yeah, the Faber one's about 550 by 700 by 880. So, pretty big toolbox. It was the biggest one in the workshop anywhere I worked. Everybody else was small time compared to me. So yeah, then it's got just on caster wheels. They all swivel. It's very heavy to move. Very heavy toolbox. I don't know how much this weighs. It'd have to be close to or over 250 kilos. Actually, you know what? It's probably more like 300 kilos with all the tools in it for this bottom one. This one here weighs 130 something kilos empty. So with tools, it's probably just over 200 kilos, maybe with all the tools in there as well. So yeah, altogether, of course, yeah, over half a ton, nearly half a ton of toolbox and tools, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, so that's sort of the outside, and I'll give you a quick run around for those guys who want to look at all the stickers. You'll probably notice there's a trend if you follow on this channel. Me and Dad are pretty heavy on the stickers. We put them on anything with a flat surface, we'll put a sticker on it. Don't have no fear, we'll do it. We've got the two fridges over there, Dad's little toolbox. So the two fridges covered in stickers, so some real good old ones on the one on the right. Dad's little toolbox covered in stickers. That jack even had stickers on it. That's where the camera's been sitting. But yeah, you can see all the stickers I've got collected over the years. All different sorts of brands and stuff. Yeah, some really good ones. Of course, VB, the very best. Western Bulldogs when they won the premiership back in 16. Just more random stickers. More on the back. There's a couple of Denny stickers up there. Those two there. A few more random ones. Big Mercedes one. And then just a few more on this side. Bubba Gump Shrimp. Dad got that for me when he went to LA a few years back. So yeah, that's the general gist of what the two toolboxes are and where I got them. This Fade one, I think, because this was about $800 worth of steel, I think this was about $3,500 brand new. But that was, yeah, like 7-8 years ago. I don't know if the price has gone up or not, might be the same. But yeah, they've got a lot of different toolboxes. Not all for utes, but the majority of them are. If you want a really, really strong toolbox that's going to last you longer than you'll probably live, I would recommend getting a Faber. Yeah, in Australia anyway. I don't know if they ship overseas or not. If they do, definitely get one still. I'm not affiliated with them anyway though. I just really love the toolbox. So yeah, it's grouse. So yeah, I'll show you what I keep in it now. Some of this stuff I'm going to probably take out and disperse into the workshop now because it doesn't all need to be in there. Just like to keep it locked up and safe at my old work so I don't get pinched. Yeah, so I'll show you what I've got. We'll start with the top box and just go through the drawers, and I'll show you what's in the top. I won't spend too long on them. It's all, you know what tools are if you know what tools are. So they slide out this far. There's a stopper that stops it falling out of your toolbox too. So this one here is my hammer and long tool drawer. I love hammers. I think you can get a lot of work done with just a hammer. And you can't have too many, all different shapes and sizes. Yeah, we're coming up from long-handled mash hammer, soft end hammers, these rubber shaker ones, all the way down to tiny little ball peen hammer like that. They're quite good for making paper gaskets. And a welding hammer. And yeah, got a big shifter, big set of Stilsons, got 3 pry bars in here. Another one similar length to this one of these cheap plastic handled ones. Nice big long screwdrivers, they come in handy for stuff. Another rubber hammer. These 2 sockets here they're for Isuzu or Japanese wheel nuts. So you've got 2 nuts basically for their wheel setup. So this is for the inner stud, it's for the outer wheel nut. Over than there, just a random 3/4 24mm socket because I didn't have one in the set. That goes in there, big punch. That's that one. It's all together in a certain way, so you've got to get it right every time. I won't be able to shut the toolbox. So that's that one. Come to the second from the bottom. With screwdrivers, punches, and miscellaneous stuff. So just run through this one quickly. Flat blade screwdrivers, Phillips heads, big assortment of punches for all different sorts of things, and chisels as well. Here's a chisel I made out of an old crowbar. This is a soft plastic chisel. Dad actually got this for me. What it actually is off the is it like a tarp support for on a semi-trailer truck with a tarp across the top of it for covering dirt and stuff. This would be like a long pole. What he found, he cuts them into short sections, and you can use them as a soft punch for knocking in bearings or things you don't want to damage. So quite handy. Some very big punches, center punches. Tools I've made for doing suspension work at my old job. Then we come across wire brush, always need one of those. Bunch of files, these little toothbrush things, they're pretty good. This saw, very small saw, rarely use it, the blade's blunt and I can't find another one for it. Then over here I've just got some air blowers, a couple of different lengths, a flint for when I'm using the oxy, seal remover, a die grinder. Interesting little tool here is for unblocking blocked grease nipples. You fill this full of grease, put it on, and you hit this end with a hammer, and that forces the grease through and unblocks them. Long-handled half-inch ratchet, a couple other bars. What's this one? Is Ingersoll Rand half-inch air ratchet, and then a couple other little things in there. Alright, coming to the main spanner drawer. So, I don't use a lot of Imperial stuff, so most of this is metric. Metric spanners, open enders, ring spanners there, double end ring spanners, straight, long, double ended ring spanners. If you are a mechanic and you don't have a set of these, I don't know what you're doing. These are great. They're just, yeah, I use them all the time. They're the best. If you're an apprentice or just starting, I recommend getting a set of these. These are Sid Chrome ones. I generally try to, for my spanners and sockets, I have Sid Chrome. For guys overseas, Sid Chrome's an Australian brand of tools. I think it's owned by Stanley now, and it's not as good as it used to be. The real old Sid Chrome stuff is the best. But they still make some good stuff. Then we've got double-ended open ends, shifters, pair of Stilsons, chain thing. I use this for filters and gripping like pipe and stuff. We have these really small spanners here that Dad gave to me. I think they're for undoing nuts on starter motors. But yeah, as you can see, they're like really small. Goes from like, what size really? 8 down to 4 millimeters. And it actually has like, 4.5, 5.5. Yeah, they're all different sizes. So handy. I have used them a few times, but not all the time. But they are relatively handy. And there's an Imperial size in there. Excuse the dog's barking too. Then yeah, this is my Imperial spanner collection. As you can see, there's not much. So yeah, it's just a mixture of double open enders and U-ring spanners. This 3/8 and 1/2 inch ratchet setup thing. Don't really use it. I've also got a lot of these spanners Dad's given to me over these. I've got stubby spanners in Imperial and metric. Stubby spanners are great. I've getting into tight areas, as most mechanics will probably know. Use them quite a bit. Got this funny spanner here, put onto like a 1/2 inch ratchet or breaker bar or something, and then it goes down to what size is this? 11/16 socket, sort of spanner end. I guess it's getting to tight spaces or something like that. Yeah, it's basically spanners. I don't have a whole heap. I could get more. I would like a full set of Imperial ring spanners, but I've never really needed them because I've worked on a lot of Japanese stuff over in my time, and it's all metric. They run all metric stuff on it. So yeah, and most things that I need to undo, you can get a metric spanner on an Imperial nut if you have a crack, so you'd be right most of the time. I do have some Imperial sockets to get me out of trouble. So moving along, next drawer is my pliers drawer. I don't know how well you can see in there. Move you forward a little bit. This side is sort of my electrical stuff, and just like random, like my sharp area is what I sort of think of it. So I've got a pipe hose cutter, big pair of scissors, dressmaker scissors. These are handy. Solder. There's a couple of pocket knives in here, wire strippers, this sort of wire strippers as well, Stanley knife, tin snips, my test light, a little scraper thing with one of those little razor blades in the end, Milwaukee pocket knife. This is pretty good, very handy to have, always have a pocket knife, little jump wire. Also handy for doing electrical stuff. Then I've got Circlip. Don't have many Circlip pliers. Just got a few Nimpex ones. They're a pretty good brand. All just different varieties. Got some real big ones as well. At least all here. Never really used it for anything. It's a King Chrome. There's the part number. 08072. 45 to 75 millimeters. Dad told me it's for like undoing the snap rings on uni joints. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but I've never really used it for anything. I've tried using it for a couple of times. I've been in a tight spot and had to make tools to get things done. But if anybody knows what that might be, let me know in the comments, because I'm not exactly sure what you'd call it. But yeah, basically it'll widen these two pins at the end there to spread something. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I've never had to use it. Coming along to this side, I've got scrapers, so paint scrapers, different size gasket scrapers. A big set of Allen keys. What size is this? That is 1 inch. Come in handy every now and then for some European vehicles. They run big stuff like that. Just a cheap set of Allen keys that I was given by a mechanic at my old work. Then come across to my pliers. I've got all sorts of different pliers in here, side cutters, multi-grips, hose clamps, these pipe pliers. I'm not sure what do you call them. I use them for taking like hoses off of things. They're pretty handy. Got a smaller one as well. They're really handy. I use them all the time. Then come across to this final drawer. This is where I keep my vice grips. Nice ones for grabbing bolts, stuff like that. Big set of multi grips here. These are handy. I use them quite a bit. Different clamps. Another one of these chain clamps, but in a vice grip style. I'm probably blocking the view there. Yeah, another one of these chain clamps, but in vice grips. So yeah, more handy stuff. Alright, so now we're up in the top drawer. This is where I keep all the things I don't really use too much of, and sort of like every toolbox has this for every mechanic, I feel. A drawer with just random stuff. So, we'll start on this side. Snap-on multimeter in here. There's a tire pressure gauge in there. Some pamphlets about it. Texters, pens, measuring devices, feeler gauges, measuring tape. Couple of other just random stuff, chalk, feeler gauges, I think I already said. All that sort of thing there. Come over to here, we've got some leather gloves, a mirror, say hello to yourselves, little funnel, grinding disc, a roll of surface stickers from Hellwork, safety glasses, phone charger, drill bits, a spring-loaded center punch, very handy, little easier, some picks, mainly just drill bits and stuff. Go to this one. This is my random stuff. My Milwaukee soldering iron. I've done a review on that. You're probably seen it. Or more random stuff. So electrical tape, pipe tape, little pin, cigarette lighter for lighting fires. Little air adapter tool for releasing trailer brakes. Another one up here that I made for releasing trailer service brakes, park brake. Some nuts and bolts. These set of sockets for undoing rounded nuts. More random air fittings, bolts, 3-bond, just sort of handy stuff to keep for when you need it. And a filter for my Milwaukee grinder. Rightio, I'm standing on a chair so I can look into the top of my toolbox. This is what's up the top, abandoning. Most of this stuff is up here because I don't use it very often. So Ryobi charger, Milwaukee charger, a little gas soldering iron, which I never use, some welding gloves, gear wrench, socket set. So these are those hollow sockets. So you hook them up like that, so you can fit like really long bolts through them. I rarely use these, they're not that handy. We've got an impact driver here. There you go. That's a handy bit of kit to have. A set of verniers. Electronic, don't really use them that much, needs a battery. Hole punches. So used down there. Hole punches. So for those who don't know what this is, basically a punch hit with the end of a hammer. You thread this end on here, and when you hit it, you can make a hole through like rubber and stuff because it's got a sharp edge. It's quite handy. Don't use it that much because I've got a drill now. When I didn't have a drill, I used to use this a lot for making mud flaps for trucks. Warren & Brown torque wrench, 1/2-inch drive. Yeah, I've used this in the Toyota engine rebuild when I did my ute. Some Scotch-Brite bloody stuff, handy for cleaning things. This angle meter thing for tensioning stuff when you want to see what angle you have to go to. Use that also when I rebuilt the engine on the ute. A special socket over here for doing trailer hub nuts. I can't remember the brand of trailer, might have been BPW trailers. Earmuffs. And then this is a, what do you call it? kit for like circlips. Basically, you can adjust the sizing of it and what sort of circlip you're undoing or putting in. Use it a few times, not that often though. And this really needs a clean. Here's all the dust and stuff that's accumulated over the years. So yeah, that's sort of what's in the top. It's stuff that's handy, but it doesn't really get used all that often. So yeah, and there's a closer look at those stickers up the top. Ooh, a little hot back down. Yeah, if you're designing a toolbox, don't design it too tall. So now I'll show you is what I keep in the roll cab. So that's, yeah, top box done. That's what I keep in there. So come down here to the main area, or the main part of the big roll cab. Couple of torches, magnetic trays. I've got 4, big one down there, medium one, 2 rounds in there. Mechanics all know how handy magnetic trays are. Very handy piece of equipment. Then yeah, this is my wall of fridge magnets and a few random stickers, the ones I've collected from businesses over the years. Then we come into this area here, which is mainly sockets. So I've got a lot of sockets, and this is all Sid Chrome stuff as well, apart from those impact sockets and this set here. So that's Sid Chrome there. Got a large spirit level. This is just a kneeling mat I've got to protect my knees. Don't really use that much, probably should. So start with this set here. This is my most used set. So this is a full 1/2 inch set, full metric, so from 8 till 32 mil, breaker bar, ratchet, couple of extensions, one of these windy handle things, which is just, I don't know, 21st century useless. I never use it. A couple of sockets for spark plugs, little swivel part there, 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter. Use this set all the time. Yeah, it's the most used most used set of sockets anyway. So it's a really good quality set of sockets there. This was like the last sort of good set of like sockets and stuff that Sid Chrome sort of made. I can't remember what series this is, but they have quite old style ratchets. These sort of ratchets didn't really change over the years. They have sort of changed a little bit, but not that much. They've got quite a large gear in it. So if you listen here, it's quite big teeth on it compared to what like your Snap-on stuff has. They have like a really fine click, which is all well and good. I'm not a Snap-on fan. I think it's a waste of money, to be honest. If you're buying Snap-on tools, you've got too much money or not enough brains. And also, Snap-on used to be Australian made. I don't think it is anymore though. No, not Snap-on. Sid Chrome, sorry. So that's that set of sockets. I keep them in their sets. I find it's good to leave them like that. You don't lose your tools and whatever. And if you need to take them out for whatever reason, to a breakdown or something, you just grab the whole set. Away you go. Then up the back, I've got a deep impact set. So it's 10 mil, 10 to 30, 36 mil. Very handy. That's great kit. Comes with a ratchet as well, and had 2 extensions, but I snapped the small one. Got that medium one there, which is swivel head style. Yeah, that brand is Action. I'll grab another socket so you can look. It's very thin wall sockets compared to what your traditional deep sockets would be, very thick. These are a lifetime warranty one as well. So my local dealer for them is also the Sid Chrome dealer. Sid Chrome's also lifetime warranty too. I find that the guy I deal with anyway, he's really good for if you break a socket, break a spanner. He'll give you a new one, no questions asked, basically. And that's probably the best thing about Sid Chrome, is that it is lifetime warranty. It doesn't matter how old it is. It could be like, you know, a 30-year-old ratchet. You can still get a brand new one. You'd probably want to fix your 30-year-old one because it's probably better than the new ones. But yeah, these Action sockets, they're really good because the thin wall, you can fit into a lot more spaces with it. And they're super strong too. I have split them down, obviously the weakest point there where the hexes are. I have split a few, but they get heavy use and like on rattle guns a lot. I think I've split 3 or 4 of them, but got them replaced every time with a new socket. No questions asked, and doesn't cost me a cent. So I reckon Action sockets, they're really good value. And they have heaps of different sets as well. They have 3/4 sets, which I'd be nice to have. They're huge. They'd cost thousands, I think. It's all down to 1/4 inch as well. So that's that one. Then in here we have Torx sockets, all varying lengths. So some really long ones. That's what Torx looks like at the end. Different sizes there. Short stubby ones, extra long, very handy, use them quite a bit. Not impacts though, so you can't use them on a rattle gun. Not that you should really, but that sort of stuff. Set of Sidchrome ratchet spanners, so 10 to 19. Ratchet spanners, super handy. No one probably needs me to tell you how good ratchet spanners are. Very handy. Then we have a Sidchrome 1/4 inch set, so down from 4 to 13 and 13, 16, 3/16 to 1/2 inch, and yeah, comes a little ratchet, breaker bar, a few different extensions. Use that a lot. And then this old one over here was one that Dad gave me. You can tell it's a little bit beat up from rolling around in his ute over the years, but this is a Sidchrome 3/8 set. This is a really good set as well. Deep sockets, metric and imperial, as well as your normal sockets, obviously ratchet, a few extensions, a couple of sockets for spark plugs, a couple of different adapters. Yeah, that's another really good set. Then we come up the back to this little Sidchrome box here, which is my accumulation of random sockets I've picked up over the years. You have an Action Impact set of Torx sockets, so from T25 to T60, is that? No, it's T70, so T25 to T70. Another random Action socket. I'm not sure why. I must have accidentally bought this one thinking I broke it, but I think, yeah, didn't break it. This one's worn, pretty worn out though. This would be an original, pretty shiny. But you can see it's quite flogged out. It's 12mm. Here's the 12mm that's in the set at the moment. I'll put them side by side. You can see how rounded out they are from use. 12's a really common size on Japanese trucks. So then here we have like your standard thick-walled impact sockets. Just a few different ones. Just sockets I've found over the years lying around out in the yard, or just, you know, through different things I've found them. That's just sort of random stuff. Sometimes handy for when you need a short impact socket, because I don't have a full set of short impact sockets. And all the way up the back, I have a cheap chisel set. Dad gave me this one. He's got 2, so this was one he gave me. It's not bad. Don't really rate it all that highly. It's gotten me through my career. These bits, they give you a shit. They like just fall apart and break. I've got a snap-on bush cutter, which I use for doing pins and bushes, and it's brilliant. That's one of the few things I've bought that are snap-on. Yeah, I really recommend that one. The snap-on bush cutter, it's great, and you can just resharpen it and keep using it over and over again. It's one of the few. I think I've got 3 snap-on things: a 1/4 inch snap-on ratchet, that bush cutter, and a creeper. So yeah, the few things that I do recommend are those couple of snap-on things I've got. Yeah, that's basically what's in this top section of the toolbox. Mainly just sockets and a couple of just random different things, but I'll put all this back and I'll show you what's in the bottom section. Rightio, we're down in the bottom section. I've taken a lot of stuff out of here not long before I actually quit my job that I didn't need. I used to have like a really long, like meter set of Stilsons that I kept in here, but that's irrelevant. So got a little plastic carry thing. It's full of fuses and airline fittings and stuff. I take this out on breakdowns to carry my tools when I needed it. It's not necessary to be in here though, so it can stay out. We have here a set of 3/4 inch impact sockets, so it goes from 26 up to 38 millimeters. Handy to have when you're working on the big stuff. Big King Tony pry bar, that's also handy to have. I need to clean out this bottom part too. I used to chuck my work boots in here, so it's full of dirt and stuff. This set is a chrome set of 3/4 inch sockets, so metric and imperial. There's a big breaker bar and a ratchet in there. I think Dad bought this for me as a birthday gift or a Christmas present, something like that, so that's a pretty handy set. Use that quite, well, not heaps, but yeah, use it every now and then. Handy to have. Looking at all this stuff in here now, it looks pretty bare. I'm used to having heaps of junk in here, but cleaned it out a bit. There's not quite so much. Have a super long Airboy air gun here. Not really that handy at what I was doing, but it's handy out on the farm for cleaning stuff off, like headers and stuff. So it can probably stay out of the toolbox too. More hammers. Long handled sledgehammer. More air fittings. Big long 3/4 inch breaker bar. A random clamp that I found on a truck one day that a bodybuilder left on there. Best way to find tools if you work on new trucks is from bodybuilders leaving them on there. This is a big suspension bolt out of a trailer rocker arm, I think, that I cut off the threaded area to keep as a giant punch. This is probably weigh 4 or 5 kilos, I think. It's pretty heavy. I've got my welding helmet up there, the 3M Speed Glass one. I can't be bothered dragging that stuff right out the back because it's so far down. There's another 3/4 bar, a big 3/4 extension with the swivel end, and a short handled sledgehammer that I made. Very handy short handled sledgehammers, I found in my experience anyway. It's about, I can hold the very end of the handle in my hand, have the pole run up my arm and use it like a big mash hammer. I found it's great. Yeah, only bloke at work to store 2 sledgehammers in his toolbox, to even own 2 sledgehammers. None of them even own one. Hammers, you can't have too many. So yeah, that's sort of what's in the bottom area. Nothing too interesting. It's just all one big heavy junk that I don't use all that often. So I'll tuck all this stuff back in and we'll go over to the final cabinet and show you what's in there. Rightio, we're over here at the Is Donnie's Good box area. It's my shortest area. So I'll start off with the door. Sprays, aero starter set, battery terminal, power steering fluid, air gun fluid, gasket stripper, some bloody anti-seize, the Lennox bloody spray stuff, rubber grease. Just where I store my fluid. This stuff doesn't even really need to be there anymore. Because I'm here, we have our own fluids area, so I might take this stuff out. The aero start won't need to be in there because we have a fridge with about 3 other cans in it. So I can put my favourite spray away with its brothers and sisters for when we need to start something. So we'll start with this drawer. Cupboard, sorry. This is just some brake cleaning in a little pressure bottle. Yeah, I've got a Milwaukee set, so 3/4 gun. Bloody beast of a thing. This thing's great. I love it. Really good buy. I can't recommend Milwaukee gear enough. I reckon it's really good. I haven't had any dramas with it anyway. But yeah, this thing's a beast. I wouldn't mind getting one of the bigger batteries to run it because it goes out flat. It runs out pretty quick if you're using it a lot. But yeah, really good bit of kit. So I've got that one. And I've got a little 1/2 inch one. I use this all the time too. This is probably my most used rattle gun. It's good because it fits into a lot of tight spaces, and it's also pretty powerful for its size. Blokes who have them will probably be able to back me up there. They're quite strong. I did used to run Ryobi. I had a Ryobi 1/2 inch gun, which I've got here in the workshop. Dad's got the same. I can't complain about it. It was really good too. And for how cheap they are, like Ryobi stuff's really good. If you're just starting off as an apprentice, Ryobi stuff's really good to start with because it's so cheap and it's good quality at the same time. I still use the drill and stuff and never had drama. Dad's got a 1/2-inch gun that he's had for years and treated like rubbish, really bounce around his ute and getting thrown around. Still worked. It's not amazing, but it still does work and get the job done. So yeah, Ryobi stuff's good for beginners. But yeah, this Milwaukee stuff, when you've got a little bit more coin to spend, chef's kiss. Coming down to this little beast here, which is a Sidchrome 1/2-inch rattle gun. I think Isragold Rand, or whatever the hell however you pronounce it, made these, or it might have been, what was it, Chicago Pneumatics. I can't remember, but there's an American version. Basically, it's just been reskinned as Sidchrome. This thing here is brilliant. It's a really good rattle gun. Can't rave about this one enough. Even Dad gave me this one, but he wants it back. So yeah, this is really good. Had it rebuilt once, broke one of the hammers or anvils, whatever they're called, in there, the reverse one time when I was undoing something. Got it replaced for free. Got it Sidchrome, lifetime warranty, and yeah, going strong ever since. So it's a great little 1/2-inch rattle gun. Ryobi drill, pretty good. Nothing to say about that one. It's, yeah. Then this is one of your little, not an impact driver, but one of those bloody drivers for you putting in like tech screws and stuff and lots of other stuff. It's pretty good too. Use it every now and then. Then up the back, got a Milwaukee grinder. That's very good, very handy. Use it a little time. Another battery for the thing, for the Ryobi stuff, and a Milwaukee grease gun. That's really good. That's what Dad has as well. It's where you would have seen me using it if you watch the channel, greasing stuff. I don't use that one all that often just because we had grease guns at work and I wasn't, just mucking around with tubes all the time, replacing them, and we have big barrels that I could use instead. So this will just become a second grease gun out here now. But we might need to get a few more batteries because now I've got all this Milwaukee stuff and not enough batteries. I've only got 2 batteries for my set, whereas I've got 4 pieces of equipment that need batteries. So yeah, and Dad's also got a 3/4 gun and a grease gun from Milwaukee. So that's basically all where I keep me like cordless tools and yeah, that sort of thing in there. Yeah, I love all that stuff. It makes life so easy. If you're not using electric stuff or pneumatic stuff to help you as a mechanic, you're like, I don't know, you got rocks in your head. In these modern times. So yeah, I'll put all this stuff back and I'll show you this bottom area. I won't go through the bottom area all that much because it's just full of just random junk that isn't really tools. It's just stuff I've collected over the years that I've sort of needed for work. I'll just mention as well, this has got a just a primer coating. That's all I painted in the end. It's painted like chassis black, but then I just primed the inside and didn't worry about painting it black. You can see how regularly I use this. So this area is pretty clear because nothing gets slid on it, but you can see the shine of the metal from how often those things are getting slid in and out from like the drills and everything. Because everything, yeah, so it just goes in and then I push it in like that. So, yeah, gets used quite regularly, this little compartment. And then last but not least is this area down here of just junk. So rubber gloves, always handy. Yeah, I've got lots of just random clips and stuff from jobs that I've done where I didn't need to use them all. They're handy to hang on to, so there's like panel clips for an Iveco or something. Some air tool oil, always oil your air tools. Chain, little jack, tubs of washers and there's dowels in here. This is just all sorts of shims and washers and clips for different sorts of trucks. I'll have to get my torch so you guys can see. Yeah, chain jack, jiggler hose, some funnels, another couple of jacks in there, ratchet straps, bit of random wiring. I think it's just rolls of jacks, ratchet straps down the back. There's some that big yellow thing right down there in the back corner is to protect truck and trailer axle threads. You put them on over the top of it and it stops you from damaging it. There's some big like spreaders in there, as well as some pullers and stuff, I think too, and a couple of D-shackles. But yeah, that's basically just the section where all my random stuff that like rarely gets used, like heavy stuff that I just need out of the way, gets chucked. Handy when you need it, but obviously don't need it all the time. So that's just my junk area, I guess. Every toolbox has probably got one. Yeah, that's pretty much everything, I think. Showed you pretty much all of the toolbox, most of the tools I've got. Sorry if it goes a little bit long, but yeah, I suppose people or mechanics probably are interested in what other mechanics sort of have and like to be sticky beaks and have a nose through other people's tools. So, you know, you've had a bit of a look as to what I carry, and by no means is this like, you know, the be all to end all sort of thing of toolboxes and tools. Like, I'm sure there's bigger ones out there. Stronger ones? Yeah, probably not. Better? Maybe. But I think this is, you know, the duck's guts when it comes to toolboxes from what I've got. This setup here that Dad made, it's a really good toolbox that he made, and when I brought it back he was telling me like he couldn't get over how he forgot how good of a job he'd done on this toolbox. Yeah, and he's not a fabricator or anything. You just know, you know him from the channel, you see what he does. He's just pretty handy with the welder and knows how to make stuff. So thanks to him for making it for me anyway. Then yeah, the Faber toolbox, yeah, I can't rave enough about how good it is. Yeah, there's probably a few things I would change. Extra drawers and shelving, just so everything's a little bit more, I can use the space a little bit better, I suppose. It's just, yeah, I've sort of wasted a lot of area with how high these are. It sort of worked well because looking down into it, I can just grab a socket or something in that cupboard especially. But yeah, I could have probably used the space a little bit better. That got me through what I was doing. So yeah. Oh yeah, forgot. Last thing that to show you was my creeper. So it's just a snap-on creeper. Well used, of course, but these older snap-on creepers are really good. I found in my experience they're pretty strong, unless you run over them with a truck, which a lot of guys I know have run over from trucks. But the older ones are pretty good creepers. So I've always looked after mine and never ran it over, and the wheels always seem to be pretty good. So that was the last thing that sort of goes with my toolbox. Usually gets leant against the side rail and tied on with a cable so no one nicks it. So yeah. Yeah, so there you go. That's basically the extent of what I carry in my toolbox. And I'm a diesel mechanic, working on trucks and trailers and cars also. Tractors, anything that basically has an engine. I've worked on it. Maybe not boats though. But yeah. That's what I've got in mind. If you have any questions about any of the tools, or you know, if you know what that random tool was that I showed is, let me know. Yeah, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. If you want to know anything about that, I might chuck the link to Faber's website in the description. Just if you want to have a look, they've got some pretty good toolboxes on there. You don't have to buy anything obviously, but just if you're interested, I go on there every now and then just to see what they're selling. Yeah, and any other questions, just chuck them down below. So thanks everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright.